good morning, everyone. It's Penelope, and it's New Year's Eve. I am getting ready to do a huge seafood fest tonight for my household. I didn't buy it all, I did buy some, and as a very budget friendly person, I don't know if it's friendly or not, but by God, we live on a budget. I start buying seafood right around Lent because that's when fish and shrimp and the seafood comes on sale really well. So I start stocking up on shrimps and fish and so on and so forth throughout Lent. And then by the end of the year, January 31st, I have quite a stockpile of seafood for our seafood fest. So I'm pretty excited to get it out of the freezer and cook it tonight so we can absolutely have a feast of seafood. I'm pretty excited about that. Now, I have been watching a lot of YouTube channels. Um, I watch budgeting channels, homesteading channels, prepping channels, um, personal vlogging channels, couponing channels, deal and clearance sales. I watch all of those videos. And there seems to be a theme, and everyone chose a word of the year. And I was like, well, I can do that. So, very quickly, I did choose a word for the year, and I chose share. Share is going to be my word of the year. Um, Share, sharing, and shared. All forms of share. I want to share as much information, share my ideas, share my opinions, which sometimes you may not agree with, but that's okay. That's what life is about. It isn't always about agreeing with everybody. I'm also going to share with giving more donations out and starting a meal program in my community. So, sharing is what it is about this year. Um, I want to let you know yes, I am a prepper, I am a beginning homesteader. I probably lived the homesteader life pretty much all my life, just didn't realize that's what it was called. Being a gardener and canning and freezing and dehydrating foods. I'm also not only a prepper, but I also am a budgeter. I live on a very meager budget because I want to save as much money as I can, getting out of debt, starting the farm, and making sure that I have the money to back my ass, basically, is what it's all about. So I want to share my adventure of my homestead and my micro farm that I am absolutely so thrilled to start. So share is my word for the year. So with that being said, please share me if you think that my channel is good enough to share with other people. Just Living shares the chicken chat with all the different channels that she promotes, and I think that is absolutely wonderful. I will share channels every now and again, but please share me if you think I'm worth it. Just saying. Okay, so today I kind of want to tell you a story. It was, what day was that? It was Saturday. I went to a wholesale flooring store across the state border over into Ohio. And I walked in and it was mostly like the flooring that snaps together. There was some other stuff there. And I kind of stopped and I said, well, I said, I'm kind of looking for linoleum or vinyl, to put in my chicken house. He went, oh, well, we don't have that. And I said, well, that's okay. I said, last time I came down here, it was like a flea market kind of thing going on. He says, yeah, we changed it. And then I'm not exactly sure how we got on the subject, but he and I stood and talked about prepping for about 15, 20 minutes. I mean, he said he wants to be a prepper, and he started asking a few questions about what I prep for, um, and how his concerns for our economy collapsing. Now, I've also seen this on many YouTube channels in some of the venues that I watch. There's a very big concern about our economy collapsing. And, I've been a prepper for a couple of years, and, that's like one of the major things that I prep for. because I want to make certain that our household can survive and possibly help our surrounding area. I am in a rural area, so there are a lot of like-minded people, farmers, hunters, um, just everyday preppers, because prepping is something that came from our past. You know, during the harvest, women dehydrated, they canned, they froze food. My grandma in Kentucky, for example, was one of the most pioneer women I've ever known, and I should, I should be more like her, and I wish I could, but I don't have the gumption that she had every day. Of course, I have to work a full time job. She didn't, but her farm was definitely her full time job. So I wanted to do a simple breakdown of the things when you want to start prepping of what you need. And I think this simple breakdown can help you. And even if you do it for $5 a week, which I do have videos out, I do have some about water. I have one about water, one about a $5 a week. Um, I have a lot of prepping videos. So if you go into that and look up prepping on the little magnifying glass, you'll find all my prepping videos that are kind of designed for each thing. So I would recommend going to that. I will make more prepping videos because I think it's very important and I want to share what I know about prepping. Um, so my simple breakdown, what I did was I wrote it down. I am going to read them, but I have water, staples, canned, um, needed items, tools and to prep tools. I have pets and livestock, children, and medical and barter. So I've got it broke down like this. I'm going to read it to you because I think that it's much more important for me to share it like this. I'm going to try to keep this video short. I know that, you know, people don't like to watch my videos that are super long. So we're going to kind of keep this short. So with water, you want to keep drinking water. If you buy a gallon of water a week, wonderful, or the bottles, wonderful. But you also have to think about washing, cleaning, and cooking. Um, and with those, I would recommend just saving bottles like I do. I save drinking water or drinking vessels that maybe had Gatorade or soda pop. I make sure I clean them very well, and I do save them back. That is for my cleaning and my cooking. Because with cooking, you're going to boil your water, so it's going to sterilize it with the boiling method. So if you have that water stored back and it has been opened and it's in a container, you're going to boil it anyway when you cook. Cleaning. I save all of my spray bottles of things, or if I have something, I add water to it, I store it back. Clothes washing, I save my laundry detergent, my fabric softener in my bleach bottles. I put a little bit of detergent, bleach, and fabric softener in each one, fill it with water, and I have it stored. So I have laundry water storing in laundry bottle vessels. I do not store my drinking water in those. Please don't do that, because that could be a major problem. A water catch system. I recommend for people to have, for example, my chicken coop is going to be one water catch system. I have a couple more roofs. I'm going to start catching a lot of water coming this spring when I get all these little gutters put up. And know where your local waters are. Where is the local streams, ponds, lakes, tributaries, maybe some springs, so on and so forth. Know where those water areas are. You can also catch water in tarps. Maybe buy some tarps, have them set aside, or some plastic. And I'll tell you something else, shower curtains. Shower curtains are cheap at the dollar store for $1. You can utilize those as water catch systems as well. Yes, you can. You can also use the clear ones to make you a greenhouse, which is what I do. So anyway, the staples that you need to keep: white rice, dried beans, pasta, dehydrated potatoes. Those are four really good bases for meals that can sustain you. Sugar, salt, vinegar, spices and herbs, flour, baking soda, baking powder, powdered milk, oil, lard, Italian dressing. And you're like, Italian dressing? Italian dressing has spices, herbs, it has the oil, it has vinegar, so it will last a lot longer. Do not try to save ranch dressing for years. It will not happen. Now I'm going to show you one of my spice bins. See this? It has all kinds of spices that I have collected. There's seasoned salt, there's spices, there's herbs, and I do collect them when I find them on sale. So I keep them in little bins like this, and I have them in all of my pantries. And I say all of my pantries because I have several. So these are my saved spices and herbs that I keep. Whatever your favorite ones are: garlic, salt, pepper. Pepper is a big one for my husband. Like I said, seasoned salt. Some of the Montreal steak seasonings when the Weber's were on sale. McCormick, when those were on sale, I snatched those up. But it's okay to buy the cheap stuff. Put it in there. Okay, canned food. I definitely recommend chunky style soups. I think those are some of the best soups that you can have in your prepper pantry because they have a gravy, a vegetable, a meat, sometimes a pasta, but you can pour them over your rice, your beans, your pasta, your dehydrated instant potatoes. Absolutely phenomenal. Keep vegetables, fruit, especially fruits with vitamin C. Very important. One of the staples I didn't mention was Tang or any kind of the powdered drink mixes that have vitamin C and minerals and vitamins in them. Tang is probably my biggest thing for people to save back. You're not going to have orange juice. Tang has that mineral and they have the vitamins that you need. Okay? So, canned soups, vegetables, fruit, and juices. Pineapple juice. What other juices? Tomato juices. Those are in cans. Keep them. Canned meats. You have all kinds of meats. Tunas, salmons. You have your canned hams. You have your luncheon loaf. You have your sardines. You have all kinds of canned meats that you can find. There's chicken. There's pulled pork. I've seen all kinds of different meats already in canned. Sauces. Another big one. Spaghetti sauce, Alfredo sauce. Things that are going to give you a little more with your pastas or your rices. Maybe cheese sauce. Things that are canned or jarred. Broths. Broths are really important. Now, if you're like me, you make broths, but having them in cans is a phenomenal thing to do. Canned milk, evaporated milk. Like the powdered milk, I do recommend having canned milk or shelf-stable milk in the milk cartons. They last a couple of years. Really good deal. Another canned item to have are your meals, whether it's ravioli or some sort of pasta with meat and a sauce in it. It can be an Alfredo meal. It can be chicken and dumplings. It can be whatever you find. Now, just remember, if you have children, you want to have food stocked up that they like and will comfort them in a time when things are in really bad time. Other needed items would be baby wipes, toilet paper, garbage bags, Ziploc bags, foil, paper plates, and personal and cleaning items. Make sure you have a little stockpile of those. Toilet paper is going to be big, but I also recommend baby wipes because you can clean everything with your baby wipes. Tools to prep. Get a really cheap dehydrator. Start dehydrating some stuff. Get a canner and some jars and some lids and rings. Learn how to can. Very important. Now, tools that you might want to need would be a solar oven. You can buy solar ovens or you can look on Pinterest and they'll show you how to make one. Why not? What are you going to lose? And then you could have like a time with your kids and say, hey, we're going to try this. Why not? It'd be a great project for them. Have the things to make a rocket stove outside or a fire pit. And your potty needs. You need to find some place to look for all the different ways for your waste. Your liquid and your poo. What are you going to do when you have to poo? Those are some things you need to really look for and find and have on hand. I also recommend having a hatchet. I also recommend having a hunting knife. I also recommend firearms, but I'm not going to go into that into detail because I think there's many plant preppers out there who go into detail about the firearms and the ammo, and that's not where I'm coming from. Okay, pets and livestock. You want to make sure that you have some food stored for them. Even if your dog doesn't eat canned dog food, or your cats don't eat canned cat food, throw some in your pantries. I recommend that because you can mix that with some rice or with some pasta or some beans, and your dogs will also eat well for a while. You also want to keep back seeds to grow your crops for your animals. If you have goats or chickens or sheep or cattle or whatever, make sure you have seed so that you can grow what they need. Alfalfa seed, clover seed, make sure you can put that where you need to grow their hay or some really good grasses for them to eat during that time that you can save back. So think about their future if things get really, really bad. You also want to think about parasite control. What do you have on hand for parasite control, whether it be flea and ticks or it be an internal worm? What would you keep? Now, I have diatomaceous earth I keep on hand at all times. That's what I keep. But I also have flea drops, collars, bath material, so on and so forth. I do have a cat that is allergic to them, so she would be a real problem. Okay, children, like I mentioned before, have comfort food items. Find out what you can keep on hand that your kids would love to have in a bad scenario. Very important. And you also want to have things to keep them busy. Now, if they're going to be good kids and they're going to help you with the firewood and stuff, that's fine and dandy. But you also want to keep games, coloring items, crayons, markers, sketch pads, whatever you think your kids can do, do it. Medical, first aid, as much as possible as you can stock up. Your Neosporin or your antibiotic ointments, it doesn't have to be name brand, band-aids, bandages, alcohol, peroxide, so on and so forth. Now we're going to get to the barter items. What I recommend for the barter items, because things that people really, really want, alcohol, tobacco, and candy. I think those are going to be three really top things. Also, toothpaste, toothbrushes, bars of soap, socks. So when you come across sales and so on and so forth where you can get those items very, very cheap or free, throw them in a bin and just keep setting it aside because those could be your barter items. So that's about all I have for the simple breakdown for prepping. And I know this is a very long video and I apologize for that, but just remember, share me if you want to, and I will share you because share is my word of the year. You all have a great day. Bye.